cat people, how are you today? I'm Catlady Antigoni, and today we are continuing with Greek mythology series with Arachni, and all of this while I'm doing this makeup look. Today's story is gonna be dark. Today's story is gonna be controversial. That's why I would like you to stay until the end, because of course I'm gonna explain you the two sides, what do they symbolize, and I would like to take place and I would like to hear about your opinion down in the comments. Okay, so let me introduce you to the characters. I'm gonna tell you about spiders, or as we say in Greek, Arachni's story, and another protagonist in this story is the goddess Athena. In Greek, it is Athena. I'm gonna try to keep the names as close to the English as possible, but I'm Greek, so I might say something in Greek, so please keep track of this. Anyway, I have started by applying my primer on my eyes. The makeup is gonna be quite dark, that's why I chose this outfit. It's gonna remind me of like fall trees, and then of course I'm gonna include some spider webs, but without any further ado, let's start with the makeup! I'm starting by using the palette Vixen from VE Cosmetics. It is unfortunately discontinued, but it's a very basic fall palette and I'm sure that you can find all these colors somewhere else. From this palette I'm gonna use the shade Ease and I'm gonna blend it in the shade Of. So I'm telling you everything right now because I don't want to interrupt my story. Let me start. Well, Arachni, or spider, was actually a woman. It was not the insect. Actually, it didn't start as an insect. It was a woman with an incredible talent in weaving. She was amazingly good, and although that she didn't have like a noble origin, everyone was admiring her for her stunning work, and she was very proud of herself. And if you ask me, this is not wrong. Like, if you're actually good at something, it's okay to say that you're good. It's not like bad or anything unacceptable, especially when other people are actually noticing what you're doing. One day, the goddess Athena, or Athena, actually heard Arachni bragging about her skills and about how good she was at weaving, and since weaving was Athena's specialty, she kinda became jealous or a bit angry, I would say. So she started saying that, okay, you are good, Arachni, because I taught you, I was your tutor and you got the talent from me actually. So this was a bit controversial because yes, some people might think that Arachni was actually bragging and this was unacceptable for back in the days, and I think today is also unacceptable to brag. So Athena got really angry about it. Arachni, on the other hand, went out and said to everyone, you know something, I taught myself, I didn't get any help to go here. So of course Athena became even more angry with the whole situation. She transformed herself into an old woman and she went to visit Arachni. I'm gonna help my blending a bit by using from the Dumbo palette from Beauty Bay this red eyeshadow, which is called literally Dumbo. And I'm gonna apply it between the shimmery red and the orange in order to make the transition a bit smoother. And back to the story now. Well, Athena, as I told you, transformed herself into an old woman. She visited Arachni and she asked her straight away, like, are you thinking that you're actually that good in weaving? Yes or no? Arachni, of course, did not have any regrets, and she said, yes, I am that good. Immediately Athena recommended to Arachni to ask for forgiveness because what she did was unacceptable. She bragged and she said that she was better than a goddess. Arachni, of course, did not think about it this way, so she, of course, did not apologize, and instead, she said that why the goddess is not coming down to compete with me if she thinks that she's that good. And this was the biggest mistake that she did. Next, I'm gonna use the palette Muse from Cosmic Brushes, and from here the plan is to take this eyeshadow, which is called Admire, and it's a very nice grungy green. The plan is to apply it here at the front part of my eye to give this fall vibe, and back to our story, as I told you, Athena became really angry, and then she immediately transformed from the old woman that she was to the goddess in all her glory, and she was terrifying. So immediately she challenged Arachni, and she told her, like, if you want to challenge me that much, let's do it. Let's have a competition on weaving and let's see who is gonna do it better. And of course, Arachni accepted. What I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna take from the same palette the shade Water Lily, and I'm gonna apply it here, the front part of my eye, as a base for the grungy green shimmer that is coming. Alright, I think it looks very good until now. These are not the comfort colors for me, but I really wanted to try to do this fall makeup look because I really had it in my mind all these days. A last thing that I would like to tell you before I continue with my story is to be very careful when you're trying to blend green with red. They are at opposite sides on the color wheel, and usually they ending up making a muddy brown grayish color. Here I'm not really gonna blend them together because the shimmer will cover them up. The idea is just to connect them a bit to have a cohesive eye look. Back to our story now. The competition began, and both sides, both Athena and Arachni, were very skilled. Their works were exceptional. So by the end of the competition, it was decided that actually Arachni's weaving work was better than Athena's. And of course, Athena became very angry. I mean, extremely angry. She could not stop herself, and with all this anger, she transformed the woman, Arachni, into a spider. And that's why for the spiders nowadays, who are weaving all the day, we are using the word Arachni, at least in Greek. And basically the curse was like, if you think that you are that good, I'm cursing you to weaving all day and all night in your life. So she, Arachni, became very ugly, became kinda scary, and she lost everything. Before I continue with my story, let me tell you some things about my makeup to get it out of the way. Well, first of all, I use the Fix Potion from Carla Cosmetics in order to prepare my eyelid to accept this amazing shimmery green, which is called Inspired from the Muse palette. At the bottom part of my eye, I'm gonna apply this one. It's called Rosewood, and it's a warm toned brown, and I think that's gonna look incredibly good with this look. And also for my brow bone, I'm planning to use from the palette Midwinter Dream, let me show you, this eyeshadow, which is called Dendrite, and it's a very beautiful duochrome between like a shimmery silver and a green. And now that I told you everything about my makeup look, let me tell you something that I really found impressive. Actually, the first person who told the whole story about Arachni was not Greek, but he was actually Roman, and his name was Ovidius, or as we say in Greek, Ovidius. I don't know if you're familiar with this name, and I try so hard to not say everything in Greek here, but it's hard, believe me, it's very hard, because my whole life I've been hearing all these names in Greek, and now it's kind of like to try to just say them in another language. But I think that he, Ovidius, actually was the first person who said the story, shows how close was the ancient Greek mythology with the Roman world and vice versa. And this is something that not a lot of people have in their minds, me including. And every time that I get to figure out that these two are connecting, I'm like, yeah, actually this makes sense, but I hadn't thought about it. And at this point, I would like to ask you this question about the whole story that you heard today. Do you actually think that what Arachni did was that bad? Because in my opinion, she was proud about a talent that she had, and as we saw in the end, she was actually better than Athena. So do you think that we must think that some people are like the best at their own kind, that we'll never try to challenge them in any way, shape or form? Or should we stand for ourselves and know our talents, our strong spots, our weak spots, everything about us? I personally feel that what Arachni did was not that wrong, and actually she was better. She was not saying something which was not true. So I don't get the whole thing about, oh my god, she was really bad and she needed to get a lesson from this whole story. I didn't like it. I never liked it, and now as an adult I can see how wrong is this and how many bad messages we can get from this. On the other hand, if we want to see the bright side of this story, I also get the positive message how much we need to believe in ourselves if we are actually good on something, if we have practiced on something, if we have talent on something, and we should not believe what other people are telling us, and we should not just obey and we say, oh yeah, if you think that I'm not that good, probably I'm not that good. This is my take. I would be very interested to see what do you believe down at the comments. I think it will be a very interesting conversation. And as we know, behind every myth, there is the need of the people to say something, a story, a moral, something. So I'm very curious to see if the consensus of the era back then was in favor of Arachni or in favor of Athena, and what they were actually trying to say, because in my head, Arachni was actually right. She did not anything wrong. And again, it's so difficult to find out that the goddess was wrong in this case, but she actually was. And this is also something very interesting about the Greek mythology. People there were trying to give like emotions to the gods. Actually, they did not think that all the gods were perfect and all the choices that they were doing were 100% correct. They had human traits, they had some weaknesses, they had passion about things. They could not be just objective, and this is very interesting to see that a god or a goddess is not actually something that is always right. And this is something that I adore about Greek mythology. Like, they actually criticized their gods instead of just thinking that the god is the absolute authority that will never be wrong about anything. Tell me your opinion. Like, do you like this side, this twist about the gods? Did you know this fact about Greek mythology? Write down in the comments. Okay, now the plan is to turn off the camera to finish with my face makeup, and then I will do some details with eyeliner off camera. Basically, the idea is to do a spider web, but you know me, I cannot really focus when I'm talking, especially when it has to do with eyeliner. So I'm gonna come back to tell you where can we find the whole idea of Arachni in modern art. I'm gonna suggest you some bands, music and stuff like that, so make sure that you keep watching. And now it's time for the Greek word of the day. Well, I think you know what I'm gonna tell you today. I'm gonna tell you the Greek word for spider, and as you have heard in the video, in Greek we say Arachni. Say with me, Arachni. As always, I'm gonna ask you to try to write a comment down below using the word Arachni, or actually tell me the word in your own native language. Let me tell you very quickly what I have on my face. Well, first of all, I used this blush. This is from Patrick Ta in the shade She's So LA. I used only the cream here. As you can see, I have loved this cream so much. Anyway, for my spider webs, I have used this palette. This is from Unearthly Cosmetics, Not in the Mood palette, and it's full of cake liners, which I really love. Then I added some random rhinestones. As a highlighter, I took again the palette Midwinter Dream. Okay, the cable is messing with me. Anyway, this palette again, and again I used the shade that I used for under my eyebrow area. It is called Dendrite. and it's pretty. It's so pretty even as a highlighter. Now, as a setting powder, I have used from KVD Vegan Beauty this one, which is called Translucent, and it's very, very dirty. Anyway, excuse me for this. I'm gonna clean it, I promise. And now it's time to do the lips. And for today, I decided to go with a combo. First of all, I'm gonna start with this pencil. This is from Annabelle Minerals in the shade, well, in the shade something that I cannot find. It's basically what I have used at my waterline as well. It's a stunning brownish purple pencil and I love it. I hope that I can find the shade. Ah, I found it. It's Plum Eye. Okay, and then I'm gonna top it with We Makeup, this tiny lipstick in the shade Sugar Crumble. Yes, it's number 68 if you cannot remember the shade. And I hope that these two will be a nice combination with my eye makeup. And before I end this video, as I promised, I'm gonna tell you where you can find Arachni in the art, what can you see, what can you listen, all of this good stuff. First of all, there are a lot of paintings, and when I say a lot, just Google it and you will understand. They are amazing. They show Arachni before, the transformation, the scene with Athena. There are so many beautiful stuff that you can see, but my personal favorite is not a painting, it's actually an album from the Greek symphonic metal band Enemy of Reality. They have done a full album named Arachni, and basically they're narrating the story. I will try to remember to leave their Spotify link down at my description box. If I forget, please write in the comments. You need to hear this album, it's amazing. And Iliana, the singer, she's stunning. I love her voice. And that was it. This was our video for today. Well, if you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button. And don't forget, a full series is coming. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to make sure that you will see all the future videos. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate you a lot. Hope to see you next time at my next video, which is gonna be makeup related. And until then, bye bye!